Heavy rain in Maryland prompted the evacuation of at least one elementary school and dozens of water rescues on Tuesday, as a slow-moving storm system threatened to bring the risk of flash floods to the mid-Atlantic, the authorities said. The Georges Creek region, which surrounds a tributary stream of the North Branch Potomac River in western Maryland, was most affected, approaching record water levels for the area. Several major roads in Allegany County were impassable by mid-afternoon, the sheriff's office there reported. Parked cars began to float on the street in Westernport, Maryland, a town along the creek, as floodwaters inundated the ground floors of homes and businesses in the downtown area. In Virginia, emergency and rescue officials were searching for a 12-year-old boy who was swept away by rushing floodwaters near Charlottesville. In a statement posted to Facebook, Albemarle County Fire and Rescue said the boy had gone missing around 5:30 p.m. as water surged over the roadway from a nearby creek.
Taking a video.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected to continue across parts of the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley through Thursday. While most areas are likely to receive less than an inch of rainfall, there remains a risk of flash flooding, particularly in isolated areas where heavy and more persistent storms may develop. The most vulnerable areas will be from western Maryland down to southeastern Virginia. In Allegany County, in northwestern Maryland, the heavy rain forced officials to dismiss classes early, to cancel all after-school activities, and suspend busing for the afternoon. Rising floodwaters on Tuesday afternoon forced emergency crews to evacuate students and staff members at Westernport Elementary School, according to school officials. Water levels breached the second floor, according to Katie Kenny, a county spokeswoman, who said it took about 15 boat trips to rescue the about 150 students and 50 adults inside by 4:30 p.m. 3 neighboring counties assisted in the water rescues, she noted. Officials said no injuries were reported. We've handled maybe 25 rescues at this point, Jonathan Dayton of Potomac Fire Company No. 2, the volunteer fire department of Westernport that moved the students to higher ground, said after 5 p.m., there's been incidents all day long. Mr. Dayton added that most of the 911 calls the department handled were for people trapped in their homes. Several hundred residents who live in the downtown area of Westernport, a town of about 1,800 residents, were also asked to evacuate. No other schools were flooded, Ms. Kenny said, but students at other schools who could not be safely dismissed were staying at the school with employees until they could leave safely. Students at Georges Creek Elementary School in Lonaconing, Maryland, were transported to a school in Frostburg, Maryland, on higher ground, according to the county school district. In Kaiser, West Virginia, a small city of about 5,000 residents about 5 miles from Westernport, rescue workers handled a small number of water rescues, according to Luke McKenzie, Director of Mineral County's Emergency Services. Rising floodwaters prompted evacuation orders for several streets in Kaiser, which lies on the north branch of the Potomac River, affecting hundreds of residents. As long as we don't get any more heavy bands of rainfall, Mr. McKenzie said, we're not expecting much more damage. Forecasters expressed concern for areas where the ground is especially vulnerable in North Carolina. David Roth, a meteorologist at the Weather Prediction Center, said the state has been particularly at risk since Hurricane Helene. Helene just made everything worse, he said. There were some landslides in western North Carolina from it. It takes a while to recover from a tropical cyclone, so their ground is more sensitive. Mr. Roth said North Carolina's complex terrain was another factor of concern. They have a lot of up and down variation, he said. Even without Helene, almost every time it rains moderately, to have the mountains. Basically, you get these small waterfalls. A flash flood emergency has been issued for parts of northwestern Maryland on Tuesday, where severe flooding led to the evacuation of 2 elementary schools. A flash flood emergency was issued for Westernport, Luke, and Barton in Allegany County, where up to 5 inches of rain had fallen as of Tuesday afternoon. Rainfall rates were up to 1 to 2 inches an hour. Numerous water rescues have occurred, including at 2 elementary schools in Allegany County, officials said. About 200 students and teachers were evacuated from Westernport Elementary School in Westernport by motorized boats to a nearby church, Allegany County officials confirmed to local media. All students and staff were safely evacuated, according to the Allegany County Department of Emergency Services. The Allegany County Sheriff's Office led the evacuation efforts, and the Maryland State Police were assisting with the reunification of students. Students at George Creek Elementary in Lonaconing were also being evacuated to a nearby high school, the Allegany County Department of Emergency Services said Tuesday afternoon. Students at Westmar Middle School in Lonaconing were sheltering in place, the department said. Family reunifications have been delayed due to ongoing road closures caused by flooding, a government source told local media. No injuries had been reported at this time. State police were helping with additional road closures due to high water. County officials urged drivers to avoid all flooded roadways and not attempt to drive through standing water. Severe flooding is currently impacting George Creek and surrounding areas in Allegany County due to rising water levels, the Allegany County Department of Emergency Services said in a social media post Tuesday afternoon. Multiple areas have already been evacuated. More than 15 million Americans across the Mid-Atlantic remain on alert for flooding and heavy rain on Tuesday into Wednesday. A flood watch remains in effect for portions of east central North Carolina, east central Virginia, eastern West Virginia, west central Maryland, and central Pennsylvania until Wednesday morning. That includes the cities of Raleigh, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, and Hagerstown, Maryland. Pockets of heavy rain and showers are expected to continue from North Carolina up to Pennsylvania on Tuesday into Wednesday. Some of these heavier pockets could feature strong to severe storms capable of producing some hail, isolated damaging wind gusts, and an isolated tornado, especially for east central North Carolina and east central Virginia. The heavier pockets of rain will be focused more over Maryland, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, with lighter rain in the surrounding areas. The Weather Prediction Center also noted that the hills and mountains stretching from southern Pennsylvania through Virginia could receive additional rainfall because of the way the air is being pushed up the slopes. Recent rainfall has saturated the ground in this region, further elevating the risk of flash flooding. The storm has brought repeated rounds of heavy rain to the southeast since last week. Its slow-moving nature and a continuous feed of moisture from the Gulf and Atlantic are the main risk factors for flash floods. Forecasters have called this an atmospheric river, a term more commonly associated with the steady streams of moisture that soak the west coast, but that also describes patterns responsible for rain in the east. The system is expected to reach the Great Lakes by Wednesday, when thunderstorms will most likely become more scattered and less intense. However, a lower-level risk for flash flooding, 1 out of 4, was expected across parts of the Carolinas and into southern Pennsylvania until Thursday morning. A high-end EF1 tornado touched down in Langley, Aiken County, South Carolina, on Monday, May 12th, as a line of severe storms moved through the region, producing heavy rainfall and localized flash flooding. Data from the National Weather Service, NWS, office in Columbia indicate this was the 5th strongest tornado recorded in their forecast area so far this year, and the first since March 16th. The tornado produced peak winds of 169 kilometers per hour, 105 miles per hour, consistent with the upper threshold of the EF1 classification and equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. The tornado developed at approximately 3:24 local time, about 1.6 kilometers east of Bennetttown, and remained on the ground until 3:26 LT, dissipating roughly 1.6 kilometers north of Bennetttown. Its damage path extended 2.3 kilometers with a maximum width of approximately 250 yards, based on the preliminary storm survey. The twister left behind a trail of destruction, causing significant damage to multiple structures, including the Langley Fire Rescue Headquarters on Augusta Road. The fire pump has a lot of damage. You can tell this is the front part, the back is pretty messed up. We can't get our engine out. Took the whole door and pushed it all in. We still can get one engine out if we need to, and we do have other stations that we can get to help, said Langley Fire Assistant Chief Harold Kane. The tornado downed multiple power lines and trees, damaged outbuildings, and tore roofs from several homes. One person was reportedly trapped in his home following the storm. Augusta Road at Dunbar Street, which was closed early Monday morning due to the storm, reopened around 17:15 LT. New Holland Road and Farmfield Road were also closed in the aftermath. Please be careful in the area around the Langley/SC421 area, as there are still roadways blocked from the storm, said the Aiken County Department of Emergency Management. In the city of Aiken, officers closed Price Avenue between Whiskey Road and Two Notch Road due to flooding. Multiple roads remain blocked due to storm debris. A couple reported their car missing during the storm, but authorities suspect it may have been stolen and unrelated to the weather event.